I had a very interesting thing happen over Halloween. I had a trick-or-treater and it was one of our patients. How awesome is that? I love that when we see our patients out in the community, out and about. And he had introduced me as the bone cracker. Oh my goodness, chiropractors, we don't like that, right? Why don't we like that? Well, let me explain. So many people, I think especially now since TikTok has really taken off on showing you guys all of the cracks that happen when you get an adjustment, so many people now are afraid of that quote-unquote cracking sound that you hear when you give an adjustment. So what I'd like to do is I would just like to take a couple of minutes of your time to let you know that what that cracking sound is, and to kind of do a little bit of myth busting here, okay? Would that be okay with you guys? Say yes or comment yes in the comment box if that's okay. Alrighty, so what happens is this. Is number one, that cracking sound that you hear when you get an adjustment, it's called a cavitation. Cavitation, can you guys say that word? I know it's a little bit of a tough word, it's called a cavitation. So instead of using the word crack, we use the word cavitation. Now what does that mean? Well, what happens is throughout life, we all have different stresses. Some are sudden, like car accidents or falling off your bicycle as a little kid, and some happen just gradually over time, like sitting at your computer or repetitive stress injuries, things like that, right? You guys following me so far? So when we have stress to our body, what that stress does is it causes these spinal bones here that you guys see in our model spine here, it causes these spinal bones to shift out of their normal alignment. Now, when these spinal bones shift out of their normal alignment, you guys, we call that condition of the spine a subluxation. Subluxation. Can you guys say that one? That's a little bit tougher, subluxation, all right? Try to say that a couple of times and get used to that. What that means is this. That means that you have had some kind of stress or trauma to your body that caused the spinal bones to shift out of their normal alignment. And that shift, or that subluxation, causes stress to different parts of the nervous system or the spinal cord itself. Now, when a nerve is under stress, what happens is that part of the nervous system stops functioning properly. The brain loses its ability to communicate with the cells and the tissues of the body, and that creates all of these different dysfunctions that you guys see here on my nerve chart, okay? What also happens when the spine goes out of alignment is the joint, the spinal joint, actually gets stuck or it gets fixated. So the spine can move one way, but it can't move back in the other direction. And when that joint gets stuck or fixated, air builds up in the joint capsule around the joint. So when we give you a specific chiropractic adjustment, what happens is we're gradually realigning the spine back to normal, and that is releasing air that is locked up in that joint. So the cavitation that you guys hear, it is not your chiropractor breaking your bones or cracking your bones or anything like that. It's just a release of pressure in the joint so that we can restore proper spinal function, we can restore proper spinal position in order to take dangerous pressure off of the spinal cord and the nerves as they exit the spine. You guys can see that right there. Okay, chiropractic care is one of the safest forms of healthcare that you can have, that exists on the planet today. In fact, our safety record is so good that I would challenge you, here's my challenge question, I would challenge you to compare it, I would challenge you to compare a chiropractor's malpractice insurance to a medical doctor's malpractice insurance. Now, here you go, guys. Medical doctors pay hundreds of thousands of dollars per year for their malpractice insurance. Hundreds of thousands. And depending on what type of medical doctor they are, will determine how many hundreds of thousands they pay for their malpractice. Guess what chiropractors pay? Nope. Not in the tens of thousands. Nope. We pay anywhere between $2,000 and $3,000 a year for our malpractice. So, are there any gamblers out there? Anybody out there like to go to Atlantic City? We live here in New Jersey, right? Love to take those trips down on the weekend to Atlantic City. If you had to bet on the safety between medicine and chiropractic. Knowing those statistics, which one would you guys bet is the safest route? Of course, chiropractic, right? So that cracking or that cavitation that you guys are hearing when we administer a very specific chiropractic adjustment, it is not damaging to the spine. It is not cracking or breaking anything in there. It's just the release of pressure that builds up over time and over years of having these subluxations in your spine. So leave me some comments, leave me some questions. We are always here to help you. The better you understand your health, how your body works, how your brain and your nervous system function, the better you're going to be able to take care of your health. Please subscribe or follow for more.